the Man of Veal. Fucking ew. Before we get into this one, let me get something out of the way. I don't care if you think this movie ruined Superman. Mainly because Superman already seems like he was created by a 5-year-old.
He's got super strength and super speed, and he can fly and laser eyes.
Sit in the fucking corner! Superman is an overpowered, overperfect, stupid character conceptually lifted straight from the Princess of Mars. Yes, I do read In This State of Mind too, and oh my god, that is a terrible experience. And also he's fucking dumb. Okay, now that that's over with, Man of Steel is fucking dumb. So it starts off with just a mess of shit. What is this? Superman's dad births a Babel and then talks to nobles that wear fences for clothes and tells them everything's gonna blow up and that it's all their fault and that nobody can escape it. Then some guy named Zod comes and kills one and then is like, let's try and save something. And Superman's dad is like, but who will be the guy? You? Yeah, why the fuck not? So the guy responsible for staging the coup that would have ultimately saved the entire race of people, no, he shouldn't be in charge because he's a meanie bobini. I mean, take into account that the previous leaders led their whole race to extinction and the planet is going to blow up. That is literally the definition of the worst you can possibly do. But no, Zod's the bad guy because he shot someone. No, great, that's fucking perfect. Flashing lights! Pin art toilet of mom face says to look out. Bird from Avatar. Fetus grapes under the water. And the robot spiders that hold them. Brute spaghetti touches a glowing skull. Superman's dad takes it. Neon dragonfly helicopters give chase. Glow skull disintegrate lasers into baby's penis. I realize it sounds like I'm just saying random shit right now. It doesn't make any more sense in context. Baby pod is launched into space. Zod stabs Superman's dad. Zod and the gang are frozen into black ice dildo jail, which then fly up into the jail spaceship that travels to the jail dimension. That's like 3 layers of jail. This fever dream of a planet needs to fucking explode now. I can't handle this anymore. Now you may be disappointed that I'm no longer talking about Superman's dad, but I've got more important things to get to, like Superman's dad. You see, this movie is a dad extravaganza. Double the dad, double the disappointment. Superman is raised by a traditional American family in the traditional American way by being coddled into developing a super special snowflake syndrome and sheltered to the point where he doesn't even know who the fuck he is. So Superman's dad is like, you're going to change the world. But then he's all, never put yourself in the slightest bit of danger, not even saving a bus full of children. But before that he was like, you're the answer to Are We Alone in the Universe? And then he's all, only cross that street at the corner with the crossing guard and make sure to call me when you get to your friend's house. And then he's like, you are literally the sequel to Jesus. Did you want him to grow up to be a maladjusted adult who wears tights? Because that's pretty much par for the course. So right as Superman is yelling at his dad to let him come out as a strong boy, a giant fuck you tornado the size of a city just appears out of nowhere. So they all try to run to the magic freeway overpass that's apparently tornado proof, but they forgot the dog, so Superman's dad had to go back and die for it. So ignoring how asinine it is that the dad went back to save the dog, considering there's 100 ways Superman could have done it without revealing his power, and even if he couldn't, the tornado wouldn't have killed him anyways? How come Superman didn't just go and fucking save him? Yeah, I know he gestures not to, but first of all, Superman should have been amped up on adrenaline, and second, they were in the middle of an argument about how Superman wanted to do this exact type of thing. An older and presumably wiser version of this character crucifies a fucking big rig truck because the driver pours beer on him. But no, can't save dad. You had 2 chances at dad, and both of them ended with not dad. Now you have 0 dad. You've been double de-dadded and left woefully dadless. So Superman goes to Antarctica and finds a stupid Krypton ship and makes friends with a flying toilet. But then Lois Lane follows him and makes Toilet mad. So Toilet shoots her and Superman kills Toilet and then laserizes Lois Lane's wound shut. Then the spaceship flies away. Then Lois Lane, who is a news, tries to tell the news she works for. Then Superman is on the ship still. So she's back in Metropolis, but he never left. It flies away. There's never a point where she gets off. He's still on it. That means Anyway, Ghost of Superman's #1 dad tells Superman about the baby grapes and how Superman is the only key to baby grapes. Why? Does nothing from Krypton make any fucking sense? Krypton had a bunch of outposts on other planets, but then they didn't anymore and they all died. This race of fucking superhumans can't survive on a planet that they colonize. But the bad guys can manage to escape from triple jail and then MacGyver a spaceship that is jail into a functioning warship that can essentially rebuild their planet as it was and create a new society. Also, Superman's real name is Kal-El, and Superman's real dad's name is Jor-El, and the bad guys are named Zod, Tor-An, and Faora-Ol. But Superman's real mom's name is Laura.
Okay, too deep. Rabbit hole goes too deep. I'm out. Okay.
Every fiber of this does not make sense, and I can't fucking care about all of it. So Superman gets his stupid spandex and learns how to fly, and he flies home to mom's house. And just to add insult to injury, there's a fucking different dog there. Aren't you glad you didn't save Dad? Good thing you let him die for an animal he would have outlived by like 30 years. And then Lois Lane finds out who Superman is. But then the government can't find out who Superman is. And bad guy Zod shows up near Earth and asks for where is Superman. So then Superman goes in to see the government, and then the government takes Lois Lane with Superman for no reason, and then the government says to Superman to go in to see the Zod, and then Zod takes Lois Lane with Superman for no reason. And then Zod is like,
Yo, Superman, let's make Earth like Krypton.
and then he takes him to a virtual reality and he's like, this is how it's gonna be like. And then Superman is standing on a pile of skeleton heads, and then the skeleton heads eat him while he screams, no! And then knowing full well that this is what he just showed him, Zod's like,
Well, pretty cool, right?
why would Zod want to make— that last thing is also fucking dumb. I didn't think I needed to say that. Why would Zod want to make Earth like Krypton? No, serious question. On Earth, they have like 1 billion superpowers, and Krypton fucking exploded, so— and then Superman's ghost dad comes up with a Spectre plan and gives Lois a phantom drive, and then apparitions her position the fuck out of there. And then Superman is like, hey Dad, check out how I'm the sequel to Jesus. And then strikes a Jesus pose as Lois like plummets to her death. And then he finally stops fucking around and like turns around and saves her. And then Superman flies to have a Dragon Ball Z fight with some product placement. Then Zod unleashes the Kryptonifier and a thing. So the military takes Lois Lane because she has the Phantom Drive, which is a small object she could have just given to them. And Superman goes to the thing to do a thing to it. So while Superman is busy with whatever this is, Zod steals the baby grapes. Then Superman punches through baby space grape ship, and Zod says, come on, dude, just fucking stop it. And then Superman's like, I don't have dads anymore. And then Laser Eyes is the universe's last hope to fucking confuse the shit out of me. I mean, it's fucked up, but I'm cool with it. They all should die because I don't understand them. A true American hero. Then the thing with the Phantom Drive isn't working, and Lois Lane makes her contribution to the plot by telling them it isn't working. I mean, she doesn't fix it, but she's useful. She saw that it fit in the slot that's shaped like it. I mean, look, nobody could have figured out that it did that if they didn't. Luckily, some guy was there to valiantly turn it a little bit. Then everybody sacrifices their life in a fiery explosion for the greater good. Except Lois, because she's not into contributing. Then Superman catches her again, and then they do a kiss. And then Lois is like,
They say it's all downhill after the first kiss.
oh yeah, they say that? They say that, Lois. You know, for somebody so familiar with the philosophies of these they people, I don't think I've ever seen you and they in the same room. But you don't want to admit that you say that, and really we both know why. Literally, only people that are bad at doing fuck would say that. Anyway, then Zod calls Superman a dickhead and they turn into a PlayStation 2 cutscene. Then Superman beats him up and Zod is like,
I'm going to laser eye this humble suburban family.
and then Superman breaks his neck so that he does a stop it. And then he goes, so wait, fucking hold on. You can laser eye a genocide's worth of baby grapes and feel nothing, but you can't break a bad guy's neck without going, etc. I mean, they never established that Superman didn't kill people. Are they just expecting us to know that because he's Superman? I mean, they took away his red diaper, so like it's totally different, right? I mean, you can't kill someone wearing a red diaper. It's silly. Also, the military will never find out that Superman is Superman, even though Lois Lane did it, and they know that Lois Lane knows who he is. And a guy that looks exactly like Superman with glasses on just so happens to start working with Lois Lane immediately afterwards. Always going off about their mutual opinions of what these they people are saying. But hey, you know what they say? They say that you'll never be able to sexually please a man that can throw a jet with one arm and fly across the world in half a minute. So you better do the best to lower the bar before the that disappointment sets in. You know, they say that, in general, to no one in particular. But obviously you know what they say. You were there. Aren't you always, Lois? Aren't you always? Fucking why?! What the hell are you still doing here? Why haven't you clicked on one of the— Oh, shit, we didn't put them up yet. Alright, click here to watch the last episode of Spoilers Ahead. It's about the Hunger Games, a movie that I watched because I'm apparently a 15-year-old white girl. You mean to tell me that in a district full of oppressed, miserable, angry people, you can't find one person harboring an urge to kill? No, that's fine. Drag out the guy that decorates cakes. There's also a special episode where we lower the bar so I can bust out my mad rapping skills. And if your game's a movie, bring it to me and I'll rudely run this smoothly, then excuse me if I call your shit fucking dumb. And if you want to check out the guy who draws all this stuff, his name is Blabberdookie. He helps bring this show to life, which is extremely impressive because I am dead inside. Speaking of which, what the hell are you still doing here? Why haven't you clicked on one of